Hey, welcome to Fourth the Story, the podcast that strays every day further from God. I'm Ash.
And I'm Avery, and we watched a movie special for Mother's Day this week.
Every mom's favorite movie, D3, The Mighty Ducks.
Exactly.
This is the second time we've recorded this, and Avery still laughs at me referencing the third Mighty Ducks movie.
It's great. It's what I wanted. It's what I always wanted,
Rocky
actually.
Of hockey movies. Yo, Rocky Hockey.
Really?
Would you not watch that fucking movie?
I would. Not only would I watch that movie, I already love it.
It's just Sylvester Stallone fucking punching people on an ice skating rink. It's like a children's birthday party. It's
like
mothers are screaming.
It's like the sequel to Basketball. Have you ever heard of Basketball?
I've heard of Basketball. Even better.
I've not hated a good watching movie.
It before.
Good. All right, good. That is exactly what I wanted to hear. But yes, it's Mother's Day. Just wanted to give a shout out to my mom. She actually is the one who recommended that we watch the movie that we actually watched, which is Boogie Nights. Paul Thomas Anderson. Normally we don't take requests from any of you because we don't like any of you nearly as much as I like my mom.
We definitely don't trust anyone who would download our podcast.
Exactly. Except for my mom.
Yeah.
Mom, I love you.
My mom doesn't listen, and I love her too. Almost too much. Just kidding. But definitely more than Avery loves his mother.
Because it is a competition. Yeah. Everybody knows that.
Well, I mean, I have an obsessive need to win. I'm thirsty. I'm hounding for it. You know, I'm the kind of guy who would make a fifth Resident Evil movie just to spite someone.
Just to do it. Actually, I think there is a fifth. I think there's like a sixth Resident Evil. There's been a lot of those, man.
Why do you hate me? Why do you just have to bum me out?
I'm not gonna just give that to you. I'm sorry. I'm not going to.
I'm the kind of guy who would make the 13th Final Fantasy game.
I would make not 6, but 7 Final Fantasy movies.
You know what? I'd make at least 2 The Hobbit movies. Just to fuck everyone.
Just because. Great. Okay, good. No, we didn't watch anything like that in the slightest bit.
I don't know. This is kind of like The Hobbit.
This is nothing
there are definitely some
like The
hairy
Hobbit.
People in this movie.
Yeah, that's true. There were some hairy folks.
They do sing around a fireplace at one point.
Yes, they do. It's quite wonderful. There are also some dwarfish men in this.
Let's be nice to William H. Macy, Avery. We don't have to. Sorry, I thought you said
I like William H. Macy. I like him. He's not goblin-esque, if you will. He seems like a nice person, right?
Like, or at least Luis Guzman maybe as a stand-in for the Goblin King in the first movie.
Oh no!
Would make it a way better movie.
So we watched Boogie Nights. It's before we get into that though, we always start off these episodes of our show a little bit differently. We like to talk about movies that we've seen recently, movies that we want to see recently, and several other types of movies. Ash, what have you seen recently, or do you have anything to talk about before we get into our review of Boogie Nights?
Oh, yeah, I've been kind of lackluster on my movie watching this week, but okay, Avery, please. I know this is the third time this month, but I really can't lose this job. I have a family to feed.
You understand that it's part of your contract that you watch movies, right?
I know, and I really should read things before I sign them in blood, but...
And I'm sorry!
Yeah,
no, that's not a thing.
Anyway, want to hear my weird Cinco de Mayo story?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Here we go.
I can't believe I just said that.
So, here I am, Cinco de Mayo. I've had probably 0 shots of tequila.
Cinco de Zero.
Yeah, just absolutely nothing to drink, bone sober. I walk out because the Blazers game is stressing me out and it's halftime, so I go for a little walk. Walk outside and it's raining out, and I think it looks like there's a woman laying down on the sidewalk in like one of those kind of dresses you wear over a swimsuit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And I walk past her, and she fell and like hit her head, and like people are just walking by like a bunch of fucking like apes, like just absolute morons.
Oh,
and I had to
weird.
get some other guy and his girlfriend to help pick this girl up. She definitely like didn't speak English. She spoke Arabic, and none of us spoke Arabic. And we rescued a girl who was like maybe on ketamine. And
oh my God, you're a hero.
Yeah.
You're a hero. What else was she on? Let's mix it all in there.
Well, I think so, just because she was nonverbal, and ketamine can make you nonverbal, and then like also she, like anyone who touched her, she tried to make out with.
She was doing something.
I'm very happy that we were able to get the paramedics for her, and that no one of devious intent was able to find her. And it was a better story in my head, and that's the whole story.
But you saved a coked out mute girl. I'm sure she's very nice. Whoever you are out there,
and that's the plot of Boogie Nights.
Exactly, that is the plot of Boogie Nights.
But did you see?
There's also a pool in Boogie Nights.
Did you see anything this weekend that was an actual movie?
Did I see anything? Yes and no. I didn't see this weekend, but I have been wanting to talk about a movie I found on Shudder. As I've mentioned before, I often go down the Shudder hole, if you will. And
so gross, dude.
But yeah, and I watched a movie called, or at least I started it. I haven't finished it yet, so I am incapable of spoiling it for anybody. But I started a movie called Blew My Mind, like the color blue. This is a movie about a girl, and it's all in Finnish, I'm pretty sure, by the way. So there you go. But it's subtitled. But it's about this girl who goes to high school, moves to a new town in Finland somewhere, and she starts turning into a fish. And it's kind of awesome. It's like played like a dramatic film. But yeah, and it's called Blew My Mind. So I recommend it. It sounds like an interesting concept. I haven't finished it yet, so I don't know if it's actually good or not.
How much haven't you finished it?
I got about
7 minutes
halfway
into
through it. I got more than a third of the way into it.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna pick it up. I think I was watching it like during work, and then I got a call, so I had to like take it. But yeah, there you go. Blew My Mind. Check it out. It's on Shudder. I will push the shit out of Shudder till the day I die. But yeah, Ash, we also both saw the new Far From Home trailer.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this trailer so far?
Well, they brought Jake Gyllenhaal looks great in it. They gave him the literally the worst comic costume besides Big Wheel, which spoiler, you know Big Wheel, right?
Have we talked about Big Wheel before?
Well, spoiler alert, he was the big bad in Endgame. But
oh,
of course,
yeah. As if we didn't spoil Endgame on the last episode. We got 5 minutes into it before somebody shouted a spoiler.
It was me.
So thanks.
Yeah. No, it looks really fun. I mean, Tom Holland's great. The director's really good. I liked him for Homecoming. It just looks like lighthearted nothing.
I get the impression that they want to take Spider-Man in a little bit more adult of a direction now that Tony Stark isn't in the picture, his de facto father figure. I think this is a good idea. It seems like they've set up, even just in the trailer, all of these things saying like, can you fill Tony Stark's shoes? Like, are you going to be the next Tony Stark? And
that's like what they're doing with Mysterio. They're like, oh, maybe he can be the next Iron Man as Mysterio. Like,
yeah,
he has armor on, and he glows.
Exactly.
And I think it's gonna end with Spider-Man becoming his own Spider-Man and not mini Iron Man.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, that's totally gonna be the message. I think at the end of that one is like, I guess I didn't need him the whole time. That's what it's gonna be. If only Tony Stark was here. Oh, the power came from within. There you go.
Well, it turns out
Far From Home.
The real Avengers are the friends that we made along the way.
in my head. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. It's probably going to be good. I was talking to Ash a little bit about this before we started, but man, the superhero fatigue it's coming.
We got like one more. Kind of.
We got Far From Home, and it's almost like they don't want it to succeed, which is kind of odd because they are putting it at a weird time right after Endgame, which in retrospect was a kind of exhausting movie to think or talk about.
Yeah.
Like great, like it's really good. Like if you haven't seen it yet and we haven't totally spoiled it for you already, you should totally go and see Endgame because it is worthwhile. But hearing Far From Home coming out and seeing some of these trailers for what seems like more of this like in your face superhero action.
I think it's not going to have the exhausting problem of Endgame. Endgame was just like so many movies in one movie. It's like here are 22 movies, one movie.
That's true. It'll be nice to focus on some main characters
and just
for the first time in a long time.
Because it's just the solo movies are, in my opinion, they just have lower stress. And it's not going to be like the endless speculation, and it's not going to be so like this movie has to reflect 11 years. It's like, no, this is just like movie about a Euro trip.
Yeah, I do like
National Lampoon Spider-Man edition.
Yeah, you mentioned like stress because there is like a weird element of stress that goes on in the ensemble movies. Like especially, I'm thinking specifically of Endgame and Infinity War. They're like stressful movies if you're big fans. It's a bit of an overload, and especially like an Endgame where it's like quick fire, like characters in, they drop a line and then they're out. Because we got 46 more.
Star-Lord gets kicked in the balls because that's his character.
Because that's funny. Because that is peak humor. That's why.
I love peak humor.
Yeah. Peak humor. But I mean that's what we got going on. We haven't seen really anything else. Have we?
No, I did a really bad job this week. I don't know, it's kind of okay taking a break after the big Avengers thing happening, and now it's like kind of like let's slow down and we can I get that. It's time to relax a little bit. Yeah, let's just cozy up with a nice little helping of cocaine.
Yeah, cozy. Speaking of cocaine, we watched Boogie Nights.
Yeah, this movie is a lot of debauchery.
A lot of Mark Wahlberg. Mark
Wahlberg.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll take that. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Let's. Yeah, sure.
But there are no better people. William H. Botchery.
Okay. All right.
You can hear me thinking, can't you?
Yeah. I'm thinking too. I'm trying. Luis Guzman's on this too. Before we get into the pros, because obviously the cast is a pro for this movie. Ash, I want to hear what your expectations were for this film.
5 words, baby. Tight pants. Okay, it's going to be more than 5 words. Tight pants. I hate Mark Wahlberg.
All right. You can't use that at the end now. You know that, right?
That definite 5 words that I just used?
Yeah, that nebulous concept of 5 words.
What are words?
Yeah, supposedly we have to use 5 words. It's bullshit.
Oh, I just want to announce one more thing before we get into just the movie. We have a film title of an important summer release that we're definitely going to see.
We do, don't we? Do I know what you're talking about?
Nope. The Dora the Explorer live action movie is to be called Dora and the Lost City of Gold. That's really
excellent.
All I needed to tell you.
But we're bringing that to you guys.
But we are announcing our monthly picks. I know we're a bit late on this, but we will be doing that at the end of the episode.
Yeah, we kind of had a crazy couple of weeks in there. I started a new job. Ash was in town, and honestly, we intended on doing it during the Avengers episode, and it totally slipped our mind for literally no reason at all.
Oh, there was a couple reasons, a couple bottles of reasons.
No reasons beyond that. So yeah, we're gonna bring that to you. So stick around towards the end of the episode, and you guys can be cued in on what we're gonna be watching for the rest of the month. And watch along if you want. Is that a thing we do? Do we do watch alongs?
Nope.
No, we just talk about whatever the hell we want, or whatever my mom recommends. It's important.
We're the only podcast that only listens to Avery's mom's movie recommendations.
Oh, you know what? I just realized another movie I watched. I've watched this before, but I revisited it for no reason. I don't know why it came to mind. I watched this movie called Willow Creek. And if you want to know what Willow Creek is about, it's like the Blair Witch Project, but Bigfoot. I'm not kidding.
Well,
and it's really bad.
A sequel to Willow.
No.
It's like when Willow goes on Dawson's Creek.
Also, that's not how sequel names work.
Listen, Avery, I don't understand how most things work. Are we surprised?
So yeah, Willow Creek. It's Blair Witch Project, but Bigfoot. The actors are really bad, like really bad. Like take you out of the movie. Like almost like, is this a joke? Bad. So if you want to watch something like that, go ahead and watch it. It's a whole bunch. It's some people digging around in the woods. You don't see a Bigfoot the entire movie.
Fuck yeah, I hate seeing Bigfoots.
Yeah, you don't even see somebody's big feet.
Oh.
Like they don't even have a cameo of some guy's big feet.
I didn't want anyone to come, Avery, in the theater that it wasn't released in.
Speaking of coming, what were your expectations for Boogie Nights?
Oh,
that was gross.
I think that like the first time anyone's recommended we see it was Reed when Reed was on the show. He first recommended.
Oh yeah,
because you guys used to do adult films, and yeah, that was. And I was like, huh.
A great impression of Reed. It was not.
I don't know what Reed sounds like. I don't listen to that episode in a while, and him and I don't talk in person. But I had no idea that it had such an incredible cast. I honestly had kind of low expectations, but yeah, no, I mean, I did like it. What about you? What were you expecting?
People have been recommending this movie to me for probably more than a decade now. I've seen only one other Paul Thomas Anderson movie. That movie is Inherent Vice, and it was inherent nonsense to me. None of that movie made any sense. I don't know if I'm stupid or if that movie was just a mess.
Oh, Avery, it's cute if you don't know if you're stupid or not.
Yeah, I know. That's the mark of a genius, right?
It's like, tell me.
Please.
I need to know.
Send us an email. Let us know.
Let us know which one of us is the bigger idiot.
So so I've only seen Inherent Vice, which has Joaquin Phoenix in it. Josh Brolin's in it. Some other pretty great actors are in this too. It's very evident to me that Paul Thomas Anderson gets really, really good acting talent. That being said, it seems like it just started out early. I have a feeling he's one of those like virtuoso directors that just kind of like really picked up good actors early on, and people stick with him because he's good and probably easy to work with. But
he did There Will Be Blood.
Yes,
okay.
There Will Be Blood, which I think Philip Seymour Hoffman was also in. That was Adam Sandler. He did a whole bunch of like movies that you've heard of that maybe you haven't seen. You know, we don't talk about Paul Thomas Anderson ever, no. and I know he's really good, and I just have not seen enough of his stuff.
Well, it looks like he does a lot of video shorts. Like even this movie started as a 1988 short called The Dirk Diggler Story.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Which is usually not a good, like when you have to do a short as a proof of concept, that's usually not a good sign. Like just from our experience, from like Axel had a proof of concept short.
You know, this movie actually compares really well to Axel. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. Philip Seymour Hoffman as the robot dog.
Excellent. I love it. Perfect. Now this movie has a lot of good stuff about it though. Boogie Nights does.
My mom's sent me crying emojis.
Oh.
I think
Why?
the Blazers are
Is she
getting
okay?
destroyed.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, no. As live on the air, the Blazers are getting destroyed. Not to date this podcast or anything, but
Yeah, that could be many times of the year. So
yeah. Well,
any
that's how
given
it
year.
is.
Anyway,
Oh. Hey, I'm not the one who said it. But there's a lot of pros we got going on for this movie here. We've kind of already mentioned it. I think right out the gate, I just want to mention this movie has an incredible cast.
Awesome.
Like just name after awesome name. Mark Wahlberg, Julian. Oh my God. See, now I can't talk. Mark Wahlberg, Julianne Moore, John C. Reilly, Burt Reynolds, Don Cheadle, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Heather Graham, William H. Macy, Luis Guzman. There's like more too. I was pulling names and I was, yeah.
Philip.
Fucking awesome.
Robert Downey Sr.
Yeah, Robert Downey Sr., which is interesting. You'd think he'd just go by Robert
Howard
Downey.
Stark.
But yeah, is in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's Robert Downey Sr. does not play Howard Stark, does he?
No.
Yeah, like wouldn't that be too good? I think I thought that was the case for a while. I was like, oh, there he is, Robert Downey Sr.
Which we talked about this. He should just go by Robert Downey. He doesn't.
He should just go by. He does it like they'll know who he is.
Yeah.
By extrapolation, you can figure out who he is.
Yeah, he's the one that's not Junior.
Yeah, there's a ton of really, really great names in this movie. And they all give really stellar performances. Even Mark Wahlberg, which is interesting because I think Mark Wahlberg nowadays is kind of seen as a little bit of a, I don't want to say a joke, but like, I don't think people take him very seriously anymore.
Well, okay, number one, let's talk about the Boston accent. There's no such thing as a Boston accent. Boston is just a city full of people who don't know how to pronounce words correctly. It's like literally like you go outside of Boston and that accent disappears. Like
that is a hot take.
Yeah. And
you heard it here, folks.
It is the reason why Mark Wahlberg has had like a very disappointing career because he's like not a bad actor, but the fact of the matter is when you're limited by just like a very
specific accent.
James McAvoy sounds like just like, what is he, Scottish, Irish, Welsh, one of those. He sounds like he's constantly purring while he's talking, but he can play Americans pretty well, and he in fact played like 40 Americans in Glass, like 40 distinct Americans.
40 distinct personalities, and they all had unique accents too. There was like one or two where I think it was like a Southern accent or something where it's like, that's the same as mine,
Senor.
Yeah,
and just like that is a British person trying to speak Spanish.
Yeah. Yeah, that is exactly what that was. Yeah, that's interesting to note. But I mean, that's how it is.
I did enjoy him because like normally like this movie's about Mark Wahlberg and his massive fucking hog. When nowadays it's about how he's on steroids and he has an atrophied ball sack.
I wanted to compare this movie a little bit to the movie Pain and Gain. Pain and Gain is like a half-witted attempt at making Boogie Nights 2, I feel like.
Well, of course.
We got Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, and like, we don't have Don Cheadle, but we'll get the next best thing, The Rock.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson,
who has kind of a porn star name.
Yeah, right.
Dwayne the Johnson Rock.
That'd be great if The Rock was in this or Dwayne Johnson was in this, and like when they pick names, he was just like, I want to be The Rock, and like looks at the camera and winks,
gives him
raises an eyebrow.
Yeah.
The movie like zooms in and like on his face and then ends.
That is what this movie is missing.
Excellent.
Is like one professional wrestler. That's like
Dwayne the Johnson.
Like just like give me Hulk Hogan in this movie.
Fuck yeah,
and
that'd be great.
Like the one appropriate movie for fucking Ron Jeremy to show up in, but he doesn't.
And he wasn't in it. Why was Ron Jeremy not in this? Like just thrown away cameo scene. Ron Jeremy was probably doing porn in 1977, right? He's like 1,000 years old.
He was in his late 40s at the time, I'm sure.
He was probably in his late 50s. Still young, still kicking.
You call that a hog, Mark? This is a hog.
This is a hog. A hedgehog. Cut to credits. What? Greatest film ever. Nominated, Oscar-nominated film. Grammy-nominated film.
So in 1997, was he in any real movies? I'm trying to find out.
I don't think so. Yeah, he had been in porn for a while though.
Yeah,
at that
he's
point.
been in porn since what? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Right, I'm in the early 80s now.
Yeah. Oh, you're scrolling?
Oh no. The first,
oh no.
The first one is 1977.
Oh, wow. What a coincidence.
Yeah.
No shit. Why wasn't he in this movie? That would have been so applicable. You think they tried to get him in, like, he refused?
I mean, he was in
like he didn't want to talk about it.
He drove a coach in the 1994 version of Dracula. Like he was in real movies.
He drove the coach, so I guess he just was branching out. He's probably pretty well known at that point.
Yeah.
Are we sure Ron Jeremy wasn't in this movie and we didn't just miss him?
Oh, you know that character we thought was William H. Macy?
That was him.
I'm like beating up on William H. Macy, and I feel like very bad.
He's like a good actor too. He's been in some really, really great stuff, and also Jurassic Park 3.
But he looked like fucking. He looked like he was like going through it in this movie.
Yeah, well, his character had some shit.
He was in Orgasmo, which was Trey, whoever,
the sequel to Boogie Nights.
Yeah,
came out the same year. Go figure.
But no, that there were some, like, this was an awesome cast, and it was, I don't know, there were some weird choices though.
Okay, such as,
like, I'm trying to, like, well, the one girl who was in Remember the Titans who was in this movie.
Oh, I do not know. Was it Roller Girl? Who just,
no.
By the way, it's a pro that she just went by Roller Girl the entire movie.
Yeah, also, my two favorite things, roller skating and Heather Graham. Heather Graham is still bae.
Put them together, wow.
Oh, man.
Excellent.
I got Heather Graham. I will take you out on a roller skating date. I have a place. It's in Crenshaw.
Yeah. She looked amazing. So did Julianne Moore. Julianne Moore looked amazing.
Yeah.
And absolutely, like, peak of their careers. Like they killed it. Like everyone in this movie absolutely killed it.
But it like made you feel bad because like they were on so much cocaine and like they were still really attractive and you're like, oh, I feel gross.
Oh no. Well, but yeah, that scene when they're doing cocaine in the bedroom and like they're just going crazy, you know what I mean? And they're just like, we're gonna do all this shit. And like, fucking
adopt me.
Yikes.
But like,
tell me you're my mom. It's like, whoa.
Like
people who do cocaine, I really like that. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So
nope. But yeah, they weren't screaming at each other about something dumb enough for them to be doing real cocaine. But
yeah, it was like real shit. Yeah.
Yeah. But like you know how there's like set consistency in film. Yeah, like, you know, you want to make sure that between scenes, like, the set remains pretty constant unless there's a big change from scene to scene. They had no cocaine consistency in this film.
What do you mean?
Like early in the movie, a girl has maybe like 2 lines of coke and like is just like has expelled all the blood in her body out of her nose, and then like they do like maybe like 15 lines of cocaine in that scene and like are just like lovey-dovey. I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah, they would be freaking out and like dying.
Like no one else is that's the one OD in this movie. Are you kidding me? These people are Paul Thomas Anderson's clearly never done cocaine, and neither have I, so I'm not like the expert, but like movie rules dictate that.
Right, that maybe it shouldn't have gone like that.
I've seen Requiem for a Dream. OD should happen more frequently in movies.
I'm sorry, this just caught my eye. I know it's totally off track. I'm on IMDb right now, and there's an ad that says how Deadpool helped Ryan Reynolds become Pikachu. And I'm pretty sure that's a previously unsaid sentence in human history. So I'm going to grab that quick.
Get your posting done, my guy. Get that clap.
Yeah, that's a good one right there. But shit. So another amazing pro as we move forward into this movie. I want to shout out the amazing soundtrack, because this movie's got a really good soundtrack. some really excellent, excellent in the same kind of way that the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack is really good. Actually, a lot of crossover songs, a lot of really popular late 70s, early 80s hits. There's one in particular that is literally in both movies. And there's a little bit of a gripe that I have about diegetic and non-diegetic music that I want to talk about when we get to our cons section. Okay. But we'll save that for a little bit. It's not like a big deal, but it is a comparison to a movie called The Social Network that came out.
You ever heard of this?
Little more than 12 years later.
Called the Facebook.
Yeah, ever heard of it?
Actually,
the Phase Space.
You ever heard of the Winklevoss twins? Army Hammer.
That's what I. Never mind. Army Hammer.
Yeah, that's the guy who plays them.
Oh,
even though
really?
he should definitely be in a Rambo reboot with that name.
Yeah, right. That would be amazing. Oh, it was just one guy who played both the twins, wasn't it?
Army Hammer.
I think I remember. Yeah, what a weird role to be chosen for. But yeah, I do want to talk about The Social Network in a comparison about how music can be used in a film a little bit more effectively. But otherwise, this movie really just absolutely nails it. The music really takes you back to what is almost completely flawless recreation of the late 1970s and early 80s.
We can assume, because again, neither one of us alive.
Again, both of us were pretty young or not alive. Exactly.
Avery, we're both.
There's something you don't know about me, Ash. I'm really 41.
I knew it.
But
I'm really Ron Jeremy's age.
I'm really Ron Jeremy. I pull off a mask. Hey there. I don't know how he would talk.
Ron Jeremy, you're in everything.
And he's even on our podcast. That'd be amazing. Can you imagine? We got Ron Jeremy as a guest. That would be like full circle. Perfect. Yeah, he's imagining right now. I can tell.
I'm imagining.
Oh, God. So another excellent pro to this movie. This is all me so far, Ash. You got to have some pros too, right?
I mean, I think you definitely took more time thinking about it. I mean, I did enjoy this movie. But at the same, I always want to go con when we're in pros, and I gotta quit it.
Okay.
Give me a sec. I got it. I got this.
All right. Well, while you're thinking,
don't look at me while I do it. Okay.
While you're thinking, huge pro. Mark Wahlberg's giant fake penis. Bam. All right. Now it's your turn.
Man,
dude, don't do this.
No, it's I like the movie. I just can't. It's got an intangible quality that I enjoyed.
Oh yeah, I totally understand that.
I think
it's well made.
They did that thing what was that one heist movie where Christian Bale's fat?
Oh my God.
I'm talking
what was that?
With Amy
Adams?
I know.
What the fuck was that?
It's got that ineffable quality of
Was that Inherent Vice?
No.
That might have been Inherent Vice.
No, I gotta find it. But
yeah, we gotta find that.
The thing that it does, kind of like that movie, is there's the quality of the chaos, the organized chaos of a party that is done so well in this movie.
Really
you just
well.
Can jump from character to character, get mad characterization. American Hustle.
Yeah, I just found it too.
Yeah.
Is that also Paul Thomas Anderson? Who directed that? That's not Paul Thomas Anderson, is it?
It's a pretty good movie though.
It is a really good movie.
It's David O. Russell.
Oh, I don't know anything else he did.
He did Silver Linings Playbook.
Oh, okay. I kind of like that movie. That one was pretty good.
Yeah.
Did you see that one? I don't know.
And he EP'd Anchorman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was the part that I really liked, was specifically those party scenes where you just be Burt Reynolds is talking to someone about fucking, and then Julianne Moore's I'm trying to have sex with the weird surrogate child thing, and then John C. Reilly's let me show you a magic trick. How much you bench? What's up? Luis Guzman. Oh, this kid's calling for his mom. Monica, is there a Monica here? William H. Macy. I'm jealous because my wife's. And then Mark Wahlberg's Boston,
You know what I mean? Like that was like, and then Don Cheadle's like just talking about, they just would jump around these scenes.
Yeah.
And then with these really, honestly, pretty cool shots. And those were the times at which I was the most engaged with the film, I would say.
Yeah, that was some of the best is the way that it's like, it's all organized because it's a film, but it does feel very chaotic. And it almost feels like you're at the party as well, catching up with these people, because you're kind of like going around and hearing all these people talk. And like it makes its rounds around everybody at the party in a way that isn't clunky either.
No,
it's like effective.
It feels like the like people who like smoke too much pot then go to a party and then just go and stand next to conversations and then realize that they're standing next to a conversation and walk to a different conversation.
Exactly.
That's kind of the aesthetic that it felt like. It felt very voyeuristic and fun, which is cool for a movie like this.
Right. It felt like you were like on the inside listening to all these people's secret conversations, which was good. I liked it. Speaking of John C. Reilly, another huge pro. God damn it. I really like John C. Reilly a lot.
Hashtag Harry Boys.
Exactly.
Oh, Philip Seymour Hoffman. Philip Seymour Hoffman was great in this. He had like maybe 7 minutes of screen time and had a whole arc, which was like, I'm in the adult industry and I'm gay and I want to fuck Mark Wahlberg and I'm going to try and kiss Mark Wahlberg and then I'm going to kind of disappear from the movie.
Yeah, he kind of did just disappear from the movie, but his arc was complete. It's not like it like just forgot about him. Like, oh, there's nothing for you to do anymore.
Yeah, you had these
really
cool concentric arcs.
Yeah, exactly. Like that worked really well.
I would argue none of them had a lot of stakes, but they were good.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg's or Dirk Diggler's arc, if you will, also really effective. In the beginning, you see Dirk. He goes by Eddie before he picks his stage name, Dirk Diggler.
Yeah, because it's his first name.
Yeah, it's exactly. But he's a very meek kid. Not necessarily meek. He's like having sex with a whole bunch of everybody, but.
And like
he's like
jerking off in front of people for money.
Yeah, for money, because he has a giant penis. But he doesn't really know what he has yet. Yeah, and he gets an argument with his mom. She kicks him out of the house. Happy Mother's Day. And
Mom, are you giving me a message of some sort?
And he's gonna and he's gonna go off on his own and be a porn star. Because he met up with Jack Horner, who was like, I could get you involved in porn. Who hears about him through some way. I guess I wasn't really paying attention very well at the beginning. Did Jack Horner see his penis at the beginning of the movie? Or did he hear that people were going to see his penis for money?
Yeah, I think it was like the waiter told him that. Or something.
Yeah, or something like that. And people were like, wow. Yeah. And it was a big fake penis. You see it at the end of the movie and it's like, it's like, wow, like what a bold way to end your movie.
Yeah,
like I see
like
why.
Alien from the movie Aliens.
Exactly, it was incredible. It had a mustache just like Tom Selleck.
All right, cons. No seeing Burt Reynolds' penis or Luis Guzman.
Yeah, neither of those. Like tastefully little penis.
Yeah,
although
except for that one
as a counterpoint,
really gratuitous shot of Julianne Moore's penis.
Which honestly, bold choice.
Yeah, bold choice, and honestly, you go, girl.
Yeah. Other cons. What else do we have?
Oh man, I do have some cons for this movie. Stakes were pretty sparse.
Yeah, you think like I was really expecting like there to be a everything goes absolutely off the rails like 4 years later kind of thing, and like they're just rock bottom, but it kind of comes back around and Dirk Diggler just apologizes to Jack Horner and then everything's better.
Yeah, it's really
what I mean?
Weird. Like,
yeah,
I was expecting something to do with like almost like a Chekhov's gun of that girl in the beginning who OD'd. Like, like something bad happening behind the scenes, or like, I don't know, AIDS.
Something like that.
Yeah,
that would have been an interesting addition, but probably would have made this movie a little too bloated and perhaps preachy.
Maybe
if AIDS was included.
I don't know, because that was like a big thing coming around to the 80s was like the AIDS epidemic and like how that affects like because this is like because it's got this very Wolf of Wall Streety thing, which is a movie I don't enjoy.
Interesting. I feel like they're pretty similar movies.
I have a problem with the excess thing. It just makes me feel gross, and that's like the point of that movie, though. It's supposed to make you feel gross. I get that that's the point, but there are some people who are authentically like, "Wow, like this guy's my hero," and just knowing that makes it like it not okay.
I totally understand that. It's interesting that you brought up Wolf of Wall Street because that's a movie that I thought about throughout the entire runtime of this, and I don't know if it was the whole '80s thing. I think it was that a little bit to like a certain extent, but it was also just the way it took like this character who was kind of like wide-eyed and ignorant and then thrust them into this world that corrupts them horribly and just all the like cocaine. Jonah Hill. Yeah, exactly. Jonah Hill's great in The Wolf of Wall Street, though.
Yeah, no, he is good in it. I also lukewarm on Leo DiCaprio.
I don't know. I feel like there's roles that he plays that are, I feel like, really well executed and really good. I think Wolf of Wall Street is one of those roles. Also his role in Django Unchained. What's the one that he won the Oscar for?
The Revenant.
Oh, really? Did you know there's another movie called The Revenant that's about vampires that came out in like 2009?
Did you know that Leonardo DiCaprio's best movie was Eating Gilbert Grape? What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Because that's accurate.
I've never seen that, so I don't know.
Fucking bummer. But no, what I hate is when like pretty good actors get like bolstered to the top because they're really good looking. I'm like,
oh yeah, I know what you mean.
You're all looking through your genitals, all right? Like watch the actual acting. He's fine. He's good. He's not like.
Yeah. He's not superb. Yeah, I can agree with you there. I don't think he's horrible. I think that there are roles that he falls a little short in sometimes. I don't know. Like he brings a lot to the table most of the time, I would say. Speaking of
this weird fetishization of acting. Like I think that Brad Pitt for a while had it.
Suffers from that hard.
Yeah, where it's like, he's a good looking guy. He's a pretty good actor, and I get that when you put it together, it's confusing for your small little like monster brain, but it doesn't make him the best actor in the world or worth the amount of money that he is. Yeah,
I think Leo is probably a better actor than Brad Pitt is.
Absolutely, I don't disagree.
But I think Brad Pitt's okay. I get the impression that Brad Pitt sometimes takes roles and just doesn't really care. Oh, doesn't he kind of come across that way sometimes?
And Deadpool too.
Yeah, right. Or like I don't know, he was in he's kind of older now though too, so maybe that might be why I'm thinking this.
Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, World War Z is a great example where he was just in it and he probably got cut a huge paycheck, and like that movie was lame and he didn't probably really care about it. I wonder if that's like his agent doing that or if he's just like, just put me in an action movie that's all CGI. Like fuck it, I'll just But like I feel like he used to go for like more hard hitting roles. Like Fight Club's really good. I feel like he does pretty well in that movie.
But I almost think it's more Edward Norton playing.
Yeah.
And
Fight Club is an Edward Norton.
He's not the hot one, so he doesn't get the credit he deserves.
Yeah,
he doesn't have those.
That is an Edward Norton movie. Yeah, I think that's undisputable.
Whatever you call them, like the V taper. He doesn't have the abs. He's not cut. He hasn't been hit with the gamma radiation yet to become the Hulk.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So we had one other con that we both agreed on. Mm-hmm. There is a scene. We called it the beat up scene. Ash, can you tell us, inform our listeners a little bit about this? Not terribly executed, but could have been done better beat up scene.
Oh yeah. So there are three concurrent scenes. Don Cheadle is trying to get money for an audio equipment store. Heather Graham and Burt Reynolds are trying to start up Bang Bus, and the real true beat up part of the scene is actually a beat off part of the scene. So he's paying him to jerk off in a car, and it's a weird scene because I guess it's all that they're all being beaten up, but like in different ways. Like Heather Graham, like the guy goes in dry.
Yeah,
if she cries,
and it's
you
like
go in dry. That's not a saying you should listen to.
Yikes!
If she cries, you went in dry. Use some lube. You
God.
utter rube.
Oh, well, yeah, and that scene made me really uncomfortable, which I think was like the point. Like it was trying to get something somewhat visceral across, but I was like, oh, like this is like rape. And they were filming it. Yeah, and then she beats his ass.
Well, Burt Reynolds
and Roller Girl. Yeah.
And he's like,
Mark Wahlberg, yeah. Sorry.
No, Burt Reynolds starts punching the guy, and it's like he's in slow motion because Burt Reynolds, I think all of his joints are made of like partially rusted metallic parts.
Yeah, probably that and like oak.
Well, he does smell
sandalwood,
he smells
perhaps.
Of mahogany, so definitely some of that.
Yeah, probably something along those lines.
He just finished a stogie and was a little bit dizzy.
Yeah,
and then Roller Girl like stomps his head in with her roller skates, and I thought that she was like, there were so many points at which this movie could have like had stakes, like her going to jail for like killing someone with rollerblades,
and that never happens.
And then, go ahead.
And there's basically at the same time, they're also intercutting Mark Wahlberg getting his ass beat by a whole bunch of guys who I guess the guy who was watching him beat off like called in to beat his ass or something. And so like he gets his ass kicked, and then it also cuts back to Roller Girl stomping on this guy's face. And then it cuts to Don Cheadle, not like getting beat up or getting in a fight or anything,
but not getting alone.
But getting denied a loan. It seems like a little out of place.
It's like a little bit different stakes. Like it's still shitty. And it's because he's in porn that they won't give him the loan. But yeah.
Yeah. I was like, okay. Like, I don't know if that's on the same level. It's like, you can try again, to apply for a loan. Like, you can give that another shot with other banks. But like, if you get your ass beat, like, man,
like
that sucks.
If they brought it to like a different level and they're like, you're an adult film and you're a black guy, like that's more like, oh, like that's terrible.
I was like, I was a little concerned that they were going to take it in that direction, because it looked like that's what they were going to do, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Like they were going to be like, not only are like, sir, you're in porn, but also we don't give loans to, and then they would say like the N word or something.
It's just like
and
Quentin Tarantino is the banker.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
like
say it a couple times just to
like at least 3 times per movie,
because otherwise the dark gods will not be appeased and his face will become a prince again.
And he makes movies to appease the Dark Lord, so
of course. Kill Bill, come on.
Basically that scene where they're all getting beat up, it seemed like it was maybe not the most smoothly executed. It still was good, but Ash brings up a good point. It's like the stakes were kind of like null, like basically
all over the place.
That was like, they were like rock bottom, and that's what they were trying to show. It was very visceral, especially with Roller Girl and that guy that they pick up off the street. And you see, like, he says, he like says her real name because he knew her from high school or something, and it's like really uncomfortable. It's like, oh, this is all filmed, and so it's all gross. Yeah. And like Burt Reynolds is just there taping it. It's disgusting, which was the point. But it just seemed like the flow between all 3 of these scenes, it was like supposed to be kind of like a montage, but it was jumping back and forth, kind of like they did in like the party scenes. I think it was supposed to be somewhat reminiscent of that.
Yeah, but it just wasn't as effective.
Yeah, I don't think it was as effective either. Yeah.
Another con for me is they did classic LA thing where they're like talking about the different areas of LA for a good chunk of the movie.
Yeah.
And they're trying to pick places that are really like obscure for like, oh, you're from Torrance? Torrance is like up and coming now, and that didn't age well. So I think that was
interesting. Yeah.
Poor choice. And then
maybe that was picked because back in the 70s, Torrance was known for being really bad. Like in gross.
I mean, all of LA's gross.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Even like the nice parts, you're just like, who are these? Who are these fucking freaks?
Well, yeah, I guess.
I don't know. Ken dolls.
Ugh.
Perpetually tan and just like leathery.
Leathery? Oh no! Oh, oh my god!
Another con. Like probably 6 to 7 minutes of this movie is watching Mark Wahlberg pretend like he's having an orgasm. And
there's a lot of that.
It's A, not good. B, it's Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
C, he doesn't
Mark
have
Wahlberg,
to scream out "Go Celtics" in the middle. Like that's fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, like what an odd choice, especially since this movie takes place in Los Angeles.
Yeah. That would have been a great scene if Burt Reynolds like is talking to him and he takes him to a Lakers game. It's just fucking Magic Johnson and he's like rooting for the Celtics and everyone's pissed at him. They get him on the kiss cam with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Beautiful. Fooled around and fell in love. Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to see that. I have one more con, and it's really nitpicky, and I know it is.
I appreciate that.
I know going into it, like it was something I noticed that took me out of the movie a little bit. And the only reason I noticed it is because I've seen it executed better in other movies. But this is something that I brought up at the beginning of the podcast, the difference between diegetic and non-diegetic music and how to use it appropriately. So diegetic music, at least unless I'm mistaken, it might be the other way around. I think it's diegetic music is music that takes place inside the world. So it's like when a character's driving around in a car and you hear the music playing and then they turn the radio off.
I got 5 on it.
Yeah. Yeah, so diegetic sound is any sound presented as originated from source within the film's world. So it's like you hear Jesse's girl and then they turn the radio off and then Jesse's girl stops. And then so there's a fair amount of that in this movie, but there's also non-diegetic music in this movie. A great example of non-diegetic music, and it's supposed to, I guess it is kind of diegetic music too, but it takes place during a scene where they're like in a bar and Don Cheadle and John C. Reilly are shouting at each other. But you can tell that when the film was was shot, they were just shot without any music in the background so they could get good audio and it didn't sound like shit. And they just had the actors shout at each other. And you can like tell because the music sits on
with that a little bit, especially when they're talking. You can tell that they turned it down just a smidge.
Yeah, there's a couple movies that did this a lot better. Fire Walk with Me, the Twin Peaks movie, has a really good scene with really well executed diegetic music in it. And also the movie The Social Network has a great scene when Justin Timberlake and Jesse Eisenberg are in a club and like they have to shout and you can barely hear their voices and it sounds all muffled because all you can hear is the pulsating techno.
Yeah,
and that's like a really, really great use of music. And by comparison, it makes the way they did that in this movie seem kind of like it's almost like you could tell that it was actors shouting at each other.
Yeah.
And
I think from a technical standpoint, this movie could have also come out in the late 70s and you would be like, yeah, no, this is appropriate for the time. The actors are weird, but
I don't know. I disagree a little bit. Like some of the shots that they were getting were on like more articulate, camera mounts and things like that. It was a little more honed than something you would see in the late 70s, I think.
I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised.
I think honestly the period placement was so like good that I believe like it looked like it could have been the 70s. Really, really well executed.
Yeah.
So in that regard, at least. But that's really my only main con. That was like the one thing I noticed. I was just like, I don't think so. Then like you're right about the stakes being kind of like what? Because it seems like they did all this illegal shit, didn't get caught, and then it's all forgiven once Dirk Diggler goes and apologizes to Jack Horner.
Yeah, who's like someone maybe he shouldn't have. I mean, like, why did he? I don't know. Like,
yeah,
it's not
exactly.
Boy Meets Girl. But there was not like him and Roller Girl. I thought had a lot of chemistry, and I could have seen there being like a weird love story there. It just had nothing. None of the standard beats, and it wasn't like in a creative and unique way. It was just like,
It just didn't happen. Stuff that seems like it could have been set up. That and Philip Seymour Hoffman kind of drops off the radar, and that's like the arc is there, but like the story's a little like unresolved.
Yeah, it ends on kind of a montage. It's like Don Cheadle's got a kid now. Okay, but what about his stereo store? You know, it's like and like John C. Reilly.
Oh no, they show his stereo store at the end. They shoot like an ad for it, and everybody's there, and everybody's in love.
Like
and
John C.
they're all
Reilly
friends.
has like a little montage clip of he's like doing erotic magic.
Yeah, that's actually another scene where the music is not quite loud enough, and like you can hear like John C. Reilly's like feet moving on the ground, and like there's one part where he pulls the sword like out of the magician prop, and like you can hear like really subtle noises that you wouldn't be able to hear if the music was actually as loud as it was. What else, man? I don't think there's any other real cons. It's just such slight stuff. Yeah, this movie's really awesome.
Mostly just
like,
my
it's really good.
distaste for Mark Wahlberg, and the idea that he has sex bums me out.
Like, I don't even honestly, he was not bad in this movie.
I'm not saying
I see now.
I'm just saying he's like a bad guy.
I see now why he gets cast in so much stuff, like why he's such a name. For the longest time, I was like, why do people keep picking Mark Wahlberg? It seems like he's just getting older and doesn't really care anymore. Yeah, now he is kind of a meme. But like, I see like where it started, like back when he was younger and he was still like probably into it. And nowadays he just kind of doesn't really care, I think, but hey, what can you do? But that's going to bring us all the way around back to our final segment. We're going to do 5 words, arguably, and then we give it a rating and we give it a review and a recommendation. All the R's, all 3 of the R's. So Ash, can you give this movie 5 words? And if you can, what are they?
Okay, so my 5 words are going to be Heather Graham. You up, girl?
Hey,
because I'd like to take her out to dinner.
Oh, very nice.
And that's my review of the film. 10 out of 10.
Wow, beautiful. 10 out of 10. Wow, excellent.
What are your 5 words?
You gave it a 10 out of 10, really?
No. This movie's pretty good. The fact I enjoyed it, despite the fact it's like a super exploitative and debaucherous movie, which is not something I particularly enjoy because I don't like the story arc of guy with nothing, then gets way too much, and then like kind of has consequences, but not really. I think that's a lame fucking story, and
yeah, okay.
It's a pretty good movie, but I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
All right, that sounds pretty fair. Yeah,
just not my kind of movie.
Man, 5 words for me. Philip Seymour Hoffman, Boogie Nights. Bam. There you go.
The star.
I like Philip Seymour. Like totally arguably a secondary character, maybe a tertiary character. I like Philip Seymour Hoffman a lot. I'm glad he was in this. I want to go and find some of his back catalog because he died too young, I would say. Many would say that, I think. But
did he have any posthumous movies?
I feel like there was one that came out like right after he died. Like it was all finished and they were just editing it and then it came out. I feel like it was like fucking like Hunger Games or something.
Oh, that's just a bummer.
Yeah, I think it was actually the Hunger Games.
He was on
his age last film.
Unaired pilot for a show called Happy-ish.
Yeah, it's the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. So it wasn't even the Part 1. That is unfortunate, right?
Yeah, it is. He deserved so much better. He's such a great actor. Did you ever see
Yeah.
Doubt?
No, I didn't. See, that's what I'm saying. I need to go back and like find some of his older work.
Doubt's about like the fucking like Catholic Church like abuse ring, but it's like
shit.
It's
that sounds awesome.
But it's like it's not like graphic. It's like very speculative with like Meryl Streep and Amy Adams and Viola Davis.
Oh my goodness, that sounds excellent.
Great cast, total Oscar bait, but it's like a thinker kind of movie.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, tight. Yeah, so Philip Seymour Hoffman, love him. But moving into my review here, this movie was a lot of fun. It's honestly not the kind of movie that I seek out normally.
Nope.
These period piece movies, like honestly, even Martin Scorsese, I know everyone's gonna hate me. It's just not my kind of movie. It's like it's for people, and I know they're good objectively, but it's not my kind of movie. And I think I think that's reasonable to say. I just like dramatic stuff in general. I just like stay away from because I'm stupid or something. I don't know, whatever. but moving on. Boogie Nights was really good. Yeah. The thing is that every time I watch a movie like this, every time I watch like one of these, like Boogie Nights is a great example, and I'm like, I put it off forever because I want to watch something with supernatural elements to it. Generally, every time I do that, I'm always like, wow, that was actually really fucking good. Of course it was, So I'm gonna give this movie a 9 out of 10. I think anybody should see it. If you haven't seen it, it's a lot of fun. I think it has special resonance for us here at For the Story because we started in the porn industry and then started dealing drugs.
It's because we both have massive dongs.
It's because we both have massive...
just absolute hot.
I want to know...
Hi, Avery's mom.
We found out that Mark Wahlberg may still have that giant 13-inch prosthetic penis.
Yeah, clarify it's the prosthetic one. Mark Wahlberg, you deserve nothing.
And it's like he has it somewhere. So that prop exists. I think that might be top tier prop next to the giant robot dinosaur from Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm, definitely. Or original Yoda
like those
puppet.
two. Yeah. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Somebody has that somewhere.
Oh, just
isn't that weird to think about?
Yoda puppet with the fake dick on it.
That sounds. That's actually pretty horrible. I don't. That sounds so sad.
What?
But
Are you saying Yoda wasn't fucking loaded, dude?
No comment. All right.
Darth Maul wasn't the only guy to dual wield. You know what I'm saying?
All right, we're moving on.
Should we announce
yeah.
our
So.
picks for the month?
Yeah. Oh my God, we still have to do that, don't we? Okay. I kind of forget some of them. We should have reviewed them before we got into this. I know we're watching some stuff, but we are starting with Boogie Nights. Obviously, you're hearing this is our first episode of the month.
Second.
So, well, I guess it is, huh?
Yeah. So
because Endgame came out on like the 1st, I think. But yeah. So this was effectively going to be our first one. And then a lot of editing went into that Endgame episode. It kind of took forever, but. But hey, we're here now. So exactly.
They have to put it in this one too. Take that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, take that, listeners.
Take that.
You're gonna listen. That's all my voice. I don't know if you guys know. I do all that shit. It's fucking fun. But that's what I waste my time on. Not getting these episodes out in a timely manner.
Not
Recording
ourselves.
Recording my fucking stupid voice. But yeah. So Boogie Nights, we're starting Tuesday. Actually, I'm not going to say the date. But Ash, what's our pick for next week? I think everything we're doing for the rest of the month is going to be all movies that are in theaters.
Yes.
Unless I'm wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming up.
This is a rough month.
Expensive month.
Yeah. So this next week we are seeing Detective Pikachu.
Pikachu.
Do you want me to just read them off?
Yeah, I can't remember any of the other ones. I think I remember one of them.
Next week is.
But what else are we seeing?
The new Keanu joint. After that.
Oh, that's right, John Wick 3.
Mm-hmm.
I remember him now.
And then then we have on our final week a double feature. Because we're idiots. Yeah. We're so dumb. Yeah. It's Brightburn and Aladdin. We might just pick one. It'll probably be Aladdin.
I don't know. We should make a vote.
Yeah, I could make a vote.
Yeah. Let's do an Instagram poll and we'll decide Brightburn or Aladdin. I think Aladdin's going to be more inflammatory. Mm-hmm. So I kind of want to talk about that more than I want to talk about Brightburn.
Yeah. I mean, Brightburn looks like just bad Superman.
We could do, which
is almost exactly the DC Superman. And also it's another superhero movie. Let's not do it.
Yeah. It's
definitely a different aesthetic.
Let's see how we feel come the end of the month.
Yeah.
Because that fatigue may wear off by the end of the month. We might be ready for it.
And the true superhero, I think, is Will Smith Genie.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. You made me use 10% of my power.
You're fun.
I almost
made me used.
Oh, do it. Just do it.
You made me use 10% of my power. Fucking anime guy.
You're fun.
You're fun. God.
I'm starting to sweat. I haven't sweated in a long time.
And then like Piccolo would be like, ugh.
I guess I should start taking this kind of seriously.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we're gonna shoot an anime film. That's what we're gonna do.
Ohio. I don't know Japanese. I think Ohio means something.
Ohio's a state, dude. Come on.
Cleveland.
In our least favorite part of the country, the Midwest.
Hey, I used to date a girl from the Midwest.
Yikes.
Yeah. She's trill as hell. What up, Mal? Gal pal Mal. Fucking home.
Hey, yo.
Send me more math.
Did she listen?
I don't know if she listens.
Bam. Anyway, what else do we have? That's everything we're watching for the month. I expected that to take more time than it did.
Yeah, usually it's more back and forth, but again, we just didn't plan. I should have just pasted them into the fucking chat. That would have been smart.
Whatever. Yeah, we could have done that. And all right, let's do the whole episode again.
I'm sorry, John. I was just so hungry.
I can make your voice all low, like the destruction.
Yeah, just all Garfield though.
Yeah. The
seal cannot be unbroken, John.
Fucking awesome.
Thanks, man.
All right, guys. That's gonna be it for this episode. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Deuces,
I guess. And happy Mother's Day. I love you, Mom. Send us an email. Mom, you can send us an email too, but just in general, everybody else too. Send us an email at forthestorypodcast@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram. Call your mom.
Get her something nice.
She wants to talk to you. She misses you. Yeah. Get her something nice.
Yeah.
But also check us out on Instagram. We're For the Story Podcast or For the Story Pod. What are we?
For the Story
Podcast. So great. Yeah, check us out there. That's where we do most of our posting about new episodes and stuff. That's all Ash's deal. I'm trying to get the Facebook going. So if you guys want to follow us on Facebook, we're For the Story.
Yeah, it's a little less active, but we're trying.
Yeah, we're trying. I've been trying to put like memes on there. Isn't that what the kids like these days?
The kids, they love memes.
Yeah, that's what I heard, that the kids fucking love memes. So that's what I'm doing. I'll put in the memes on the page. Get people to come to my pizza shop. You know, that's what you do, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
sorry. We're pancakes.
All right. Anyway, we're gonna let you guys go here. We love you very much. Thank you for listening, and we will talk to you next week. Goodbye.